like you, we want to train like you, and we do our best to try and achieve that. You know, I'd just like to know, knowing that you guys have got really busy programs going about, training, doing talk shows like this, where do you get your inspiration from? And who do you look up to? And you know, how do you manage to put all this together, even though with the tiredness and all the traveling you're doing, to look the way you look and train the way you train and achieve what you've achieved?
Early on, when I was coming up, you know, Dorian was Mr. Olympia, and that's the guy who inspired me. You know, I had his video, you know, Blood and Guts, and I used to watch that every day before I went to the gym to train, you know, because you know, I liked the way he trained, and you know, he beat guys that he probably should never beat. He just outworked them all. You know, Flex and Kevin and Sean, these guys that were, you know, had awesome physiques, man, but Dorian, they couldn't beat him on his worst day because he just was too, he outworked them, you know. He was more dedicated and focused than they were. And, you know, so that's who motivated me early on. Now today, my motivation comes from, you know, I want to be the champion, you know. It's not about beating Phil, it's just about, you know, I want to win the competition. And, you know, plus my new motivation is my daughter. You know, I have a 3-month-old, you know, baby girl at home, and, you know, from the day she was born, that changed everything, man. So, you know, I'm not just thinking about myself, you know, I've got thinking about her, you know, she's totally dependent on me to support her and take care of her. So, yeah, that totally motivates me to be a better person, to be a better bodybuilder.
Yeah, I'd probably say, you know, early on, you know, I was able to acquire like a lot of old bodybuilding tapes from friends. So initially I would say, you know, watching Pump and Iron, you know, grabbing old school Muscle and Fitness and Flex magazines. But then, you know, I went online and I bought every Mr. Olympia that Lee Haney won. Because I thought, wow, he's a really awesome champion, you know, and he was one of the guys that really got it. And he was very young when he did it, and I was young, so I thought, well, I should, I wasn't a mass guy, and neither was he, but, you know, he had these aesthetics, and I thought, well, I could probably, it was somewhat attainable, I thought. And back then, a lot of the guys, you know, had attainable physiques. So I thought, okay, well, I need to watch what these guys look like. And then later on, I started getting involved into the New Age guys. And, you know, Branch doesn't know this, but I actually have a couple of his DVDs. I got Jay Cutler DVDs at the house. I've got these, you know, I'm still on secrets, you know what I mean? So, you know, I literally, if you came to my house, you would see, like, all these, I'm not BSing, like, I really do have these guys' DVDs. And I used to upload them on my, I used to have a Sony PSP, and I used to put all the videos on there, throw it on the cardio, and I used to watch them. I used to watch them every day, doing cardio, and I'd watch it. I'd watch Pump and Iron so much that I have two copies, you know, one burnt out. I remember one time I was sitting on the couch and I remember watching Ronnie Coleman Unbelievable, my favorite DVD, and I'm like this on the couch, probably knocked out, and then the wife comes in. We were dating at the time, and I'm watching the video in her house, and all she hears clang, clang, yeah, brother, and clang, clang, right? So she like turns it down, and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? And you know, it was just, I had lived it, I breathed it, and it was just, you know, I wanted to be like these guys. Everything, you know, I guess, when you want to be a champion, everything you do in life has to have purpose. So everything from this day forward, you know, has to be purpose driven to be the best ever. So that doesn't mean going out partying and acting fool and stuff like that. It's like, everything has to have purpose for my lifestyle to be a champion. And, you know, it was just surrounded by health and fitness. And I mean, I had to read everything because I knew I was good genetically, but I was very ignorant with diet and training. But I also knew that I was already pro at the time. And I was going against guys like Branch, Jay, and these guys that have been training for 10 years longer than I have. So I had to make the least amount of mistakes. So I tried to just educate myself as much as possible. And at the end of the day, you know, it just happened to work out. And I still watch, you know, we work for the same company, we work for Team Muscle Tech and stuff. I still watch his clips. You know, that's why I always mess with him and be like, yeah, you know, he gets me pumped up, and we play his videos at my gym. You know, I mean, I ain't a hater. I watch all these guys' stuff because I can learn something from each and every bodybuilder. You know, even though I've beaten them and you know, and stuff like that, I can still learn something. So the best thing they should do is never make a video again. Because I'm trying to steal all their stuff, right? But to be honest and be serious, these guys are awesome. And, you know, I just try to pull the intensity that they show and the passion that they have. And, you know, and then at the end of the day, you know, I won that Mr. Olympia, you know, to be honest, for myself and, you know, for my family. But from here day forward, I mean, I do everything, and this is no lie, I mean, I do everything for those guys too, and for our sponsors, but more importantly, if I win the Mr. Olympia again, it's for you guys. Because you guys are the ones that believe. I can never win again, but I'm still Mr. Olympia. You can't take that away from me. So the best thing I can do now is do it for you guys. The people that believe in me, I'm gonna win it for you. That's just how I look at it.
So, got a question? Yeah, we've got you to stand up. Please, thank you.
Not this guy, not this guy.
Not this guy. Not this guy.
These are serious questions. Okay, guys, you're at the top of your tree. We've had guys queuing here all day long to meet you. A lot of people want to see you. A lot of people want photographs with you. Who in a sport would you like to meet that you should look up to? Not just bodybuilding, because obviously you've met everybody bodybuilding. But any other sport that you would look up to, you said, I really want to meet that guy. Who would it be?
If I could have a real conversation with him, if it was possible, Muhammad Ali.
That's a good answer. That's a good one.
Seriously, I mean, because you know he was just one of those flamboyant guys, but he was so good, and he would tell people that I'm the greatest, and I would never walk around saying I'm the greatest, but he would make you believe it, no matter what you believed. He would, and then if you talk too much trash back, he would show you. He really would. He'd lump you up, you know what I mean? So, you know, I'd say him, and, you know, also I'd say Michael Jordan, because he did some really amazing, I mean, he was the guy that I was aspiring to be growing up. You know, I was the one, you know, dribbling the basketball with the tongue hanging out and all this other stuff, you know, trying, and, you know, I remember hoping that one day I could slam dunk the basketball because of guys like him. And then I could do it, and I remember thinking, I'm just like, you know, obviously I wasn't just like Jordan, are you crazy? But I mean, it was just someone I really aspired to be, because he was always good, and he outworked everybody, and he had the genetics. You know, he had the tools, but he outworked everyone, and that's why to me he's the greatest. Still wears damn shoes, and the guy hasn't touched the basketball on the NBA floor in over 10 years. I mean, he's developed a legacy, and that's what I like about guys like him.
And just on that note, quickly, before we come on to, because I'm going to come on to Branch now for his here, how many physical trainers have you got now?
Too many. Over 200. Yeah, over 200. It's pretty pathetic. I got a mad shoe fetish, and I should stop.
Imelda Marcos. Right. Branch, what about you? Who would you be?
I'd like to sit down with Joe Montana. You know, he played for the San Francisco 49ers. You know, American football was my first love. My dream was to be a football player. And yeah, so that was my guy I looked up to when I was a kid. I wanted to be a quarterback, and you know, Montana was probably one of the greatest ever. And number two would have been Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was a king, man. He, no one's ever dominated like him before or since, and he did it with class. So.
Does anybody know who Joe Montana is? Do you know who that is? American football. Okay, we're going to go for a couple of last questions here.
Yeah.
Okay. he's here. We go. You guys okay for another couple of questions, and then we're going to wrap up the show. Okay, the gentleman in the white here. If you stand up, please, sir. So we'll give you a microphone. Thank you. There we go. There's a microphone there for you. There we are.
Congratulations for winning the Olympia, and also you, Branch, for coming back from the injury and winning the Arnold. And the question I want to ask you is, all of us in the crowd here, we all suffer from dysmorphia with bodybuilding, as in we're never happy with what we see. Obviously, we look from the outside in at you and we see you the best in the world. When you look out in the mirror, what do you see when you're looking at yourselves?
Every morning I'm like, you look like shit. Every morning. Until, I ain't gonna lie, until like maybe about 2 weeks out from the show, I'll have like that moment where I'm like, oh yeah, it's looking good, baby. You know, it's looking good. But like off season, I hate it. I hate it, because here's the thing: you guys never get to really see us in contest shape. You know, I mean, we travel across the pond. You know, I mean, we're like 20 weeks out from the Mr. Olympia. So this is the worst you're gonna see us. You know, this is the worst. This is the very worst you're gonna see of us. we would prefer if you could see us like the day of, you know, because then we're more confident and this and that. But golly, man, like I hate it, you know. And like I said, it's up until maybe 2 weeks out where I see a couple photos of myself, or you're in the mirror, you wake up that one morning and you're just like, or you get done training after a big carb day or something, and you're thinking, oh, look like freaking superhero, man. Like, this is sick, you know what I mean?
Why do you think I'm so angry on my workout videos? No, you know, it's you're never satisfied, man. I mean, if you were satisfied, you would never get to this level. You know, so I mean, it's like Phil said, maybe the week of the show or something, you know, you wake up and you're like, all right, man, things are looking right. But yeah, until then, it's like, you know, I wake up sometimes and I get pissed, man. And I'm like, I can't say that word on public.
Yeah, that's okay. No, and he doesn't mean he's drunk, he means he's angry.
So, but yeah, it's you're never satisfied, man. That's part of being a bodybuilder, man. And, you know, if you want to continue to move up and, you know, move to a higher level, you always have to raise the bar and set a higher standard and you know, work to achieve it.
I don't think we'll ever get satisfied. That's the
Is he
problem.
nodding? Is that a good answer? Is he nodding? He's just nodding. Okay, good. He's nodding. Okay, we've got time for another question. Okay. Thank you, Seth.
Yeah, we're never going to be satisfied.
No, because I mean, Phil's Mr. Olympia, but if he said, all right, I'm the king now, I'm satisfied, he'd get beat, someone would catch him.
Yeah.
You know, he has to wake up every day and be like, I can do better.
I'm literally shaking my head, like, just thinking, well, it's pretty sad, right? I mean, we're like the best in the world, and we're still thinking, like, I mean, we literally will look at ourselves in the mirror and think we suck. So yeah, we're no different. You know, you have these body image issues and stuff like that, and the best thing we can do is just look at it and say that's motivation to get better. And that's it. Bottom line, you know, each day is a new day to get better. One step closer to your goal. No matter if it's, you know, a health or fitness goal or a work goal, you know, in order to be the best at something, you gotta really be highly critical. But at the same time, you can't let it become detrimental to your goal. You can't talk yourself down and say that you suck, because eventually that negativity will not bring out any positivity.
Right, sir, now you can jump in.
Hi, from videos that I've seen, you both got very different lifting techniques, obviously when you're training.
I don't curse as much.
Yeah.
No.
It obviously works for both of you, the way you do it. We get told all the time as amateurs, there's certain ways to do it, certain ways to not do it. And I always get told that the way one person does it is the way that the other person shouldn't do it, and vice versa. Like I said, it obviously works for both of you. What advice would you give to get it right? Or does it just work and that's the way it is?
You know what? I train the way I train, and I like the way I train, and I don't give a damn what anybody says. So that's just the way it is, man.
You know, I agree. I think I'm just laughing because remember the other day I was shooting in Pittsburgh with Flex Mag, and I'm doing shoulders, and I really wanted to train with Branch, right? And I'm thinking, damn man, but you're throwing up some heavy stuff, man. And I'm doing front raises with dumbbells. I'm doing them both hands at the same time, you know, real controlled and stuff. And I see him and his buddy just heaving this shit up, and I'm like, man, if I tried that, my body just, my frame, it just won't. It's just different. It's just different. I mean,
now you might get bigger.
See, I got another tip. I got another tip. I set that one up. But but seriously, you know, I think for me, you know, I think it's just like everybody should do is find your own style. As long as you're getting the results that you're looking for, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But just keep in mind that if you're not getting those goals and you're trying to train like a certain guy or girl, and you're not getting those goals, maybe it's time for you to reassess things. My biggest thing is to make sure that I'm getting, you know, stimulation of the actual muscle fiber. I can actually feel it, you know, and afterwards I should be able to feel like, gosh, like I can actually feel like, you know, these side delts I was doing, you know, really stimulated really bad, and I can be sore and stuff. But if I'm just, I've noticed sometimes, like when I go heavier, you know, I throw in other body parts that I shouldn't, and I can get hurt, and I've gotten hurt doing that. I remember one time I was trying to be like Ronnie Coleman and putting too much weight on the bench and damn near tore my pec off.